7 signs that someone is extremely jealous of you. Someone is watching you, not because they admire you, not because they want to become you, but because every step forward you take reminds them of the steps they never took. Jealousy is one of the most hidden emotions in human nature. People rarely admit it. They disguise it. They bury it behind smiles. They hide it behind compliments. They cover it with fake support. But no matter how hard someone tries to conceal jealousy, it eventually leaks through their behavior. The Stoics understood something important about human beings. People reveal their character through actions, not words. A jealous person may tell you they are happy for you. They may applaud your success. They may even call themselves your friend. But their behavior tells a completely different story. And if you learn to recognize the signs, you can protect your peace, avoid unnecessary disappointment, and better understand the people around you. Today, we're going to explore 7 powerful signs that someone may be extremely jealous of you. And more importantly, we're going to learn how a Stoic responds when faced with envy, negativity, and hidden resentment. Subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more videos on Stoicism, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, and mental strength. Because understanding people is one thing, understanding yourself is everything. Sign number 1. They downplay your achievements. One of the clearest signs of jealousy is the inability to celebrate another person's success. A jealous person struggles when good things happen to you, not because your success harms them, but because your success reminds them of their own frustrations. Instead of congratulating you sincerely, they minimize your accomplishments. You get promoted. They say, "You were lucky. You start a successful business." They say, "The timing was perfect. You achieve a goal you've worked years for." They say, "Anyone could have done that." Notice what happens. They rarely attack you directly. Instead, they attack the value of your achievement. Because if they can make your success seem small, they don't have to confront the discomfort they feel inside. There was a young man named Ethan who spent years building a small business. He worked late nights, missed weekends, made sacrifices few people saw. Eventually, the business began succeeding. Customers increased. Revenue grew. His hard work finally paid off. Most people congratulated him. But one friend reacted differently. Every achievement was met with an excuse. "You're just lucky. The market helped you. You happened to be in the right place." At first, Ethan felt confused. After all, this was someone he considered a friend. But eventually he realized something. The friend wasn't responding to his success. He was responding to his own insecurity. The Stoics teach us not to become angry at people like this. Why? Because jealousy is often suffering disguised as criticism. The jealous person is usually fighting a battle within themselves. Your success simply exposes it. When someone constantly minimizes your victories, pay attention. They may be revealing far more about themselves than about you. Pattern interrupt. A person who is secure in themselves does not feel threatened by your growth. They feel inspired by it. Sign number 2. They secretly compete with everything you do. Healthy people celebrate progress. Jealous people turn everything into a competition. You buy a car. They immediately talk about a better one. You achieve a goal. They mention a bigger achievement. You share good news. They redirect attention back to themselves. Every conversation becomes a contest. Every accomplishment becomes a scoreboard. There was a woman named Sarah who noticed this pattern with a coworker. Whenever Sarah succeeded at something, her coworker suddenly needed to prove she had done something bigger. If Sarah completed an important project, the coworker would immediately discuss her own achievements. If Sarah received praise, the coworker would find a way to redirect attention. At first it seemed harmless, but over time the pattern became obvious. Nothing Sarah accomplished could simply be acknowledged. Everything had to become a competition. The Stoics understood that insecure people often measure their worth against others. Confident people measure themselves against who they were yesterday. That is a huge difference. A secure person can celebrate your success without feeling diminished. A jealous person sees your success as evidence of their own shortcomings. That is why they constantly compete, not because they dislike you, because they have not learned to make peace with themselves. Sign number 3. They disappear when good things happen to you. One of the strangest signs of jealousy is that some people become distant the moment your life starts improving. When you were struggling, they were present. When you were uncertain, they were comfortable around you. When you were facing setbacks, they seemed supportive. But the moment things begin going well for you, something changes. They become quiet, less enthusiastic, less available, less interested. At first, it feels confusing. You assume they are busy. You assume life simply got in the way. But over time, you notice a pattern. They are present during your difficulties, but absent during your victories. There was a man named Daniel who spent years trying to improve his life. He worked hard, saved money, learned new skills, built better habits. Eventually, his efforts began producing results. His confidence improved. His finances improved. His opportunities expanded. Most of his friends celebrated his progress. But one particular friend slowly disappeared. The messages became shorter. The calls became less frequent. The enthusiasm vanished. Daniel could not understand why. After all, he had never changed how he treated that friend. One day, another mutual friend explained something important. Some people feel comfortable when you remain at their level. But when you grow beyond the limits they have placed on themselves, your progress becomes uncomfortable for them. Your success reminds them of their unrealized potential. Your discipline reminds them of their excuses. Your growth forces them to confront their own stagnation. And not everyone is willing to do that. The Stoics taught that you should never shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Growth will reveal who genuinely supports you. And growth will expose who only supported the version of you that felt less threatening. If someone becomes distant every time you succeed, jealousy may be closer than friendship. Real friends celebrate your victories even when they are still fighting their own battles. Sign number 4. They give backhanded compliments. Jealous people often struggle to criticize you openly. They know it would expose them, so they choose a more subtle approach. The backhanded compliment. It sounds positive on the surface, but hidden underneath is criticism, resentment, or envy. You look great for your age. I'm surprised you were able to accomplish that. You got lucky this time. Not bad for someone with your experience. Notice the pattern. The compliment is immediately weakened. It is never pure support. There is always a hidden sting. There was a young woman named Rebecca who recently received a promotion. After years of hard work, she finally achieved a leadership position. Most people congratulated her sincerely, but one colleague responded differently. The colleague smiled and said, "Wow, I never expected you to get that position." Everyone laughed awkwardly, but Rebecca immediately understood what had happened. It sounded like praise, but it wasn't. The comment revealed disbelief. The promotion challenged assumptions the colleague had made about her. And rather than acknowledge her achievement honestly, jealousy slipped into the conversation. The Stoics believe that people often reveal their inner state through their words. Someone who is genuinely secure has no need to undermine others. They can praise openly, support sincerely, celebrate honestly, but jealousy struggles to do that. It cannot fully acknowledge another person's success because doing so creates discomfort. Pay attention to compliments that leave you feeling strangely criticized. They often reveal emotions the speaker is trying to hide. Sign number 5. They celebrate your failures. This is perhaps one of the most painful signs of jealousy. A jealous person may pretend to support you, but when you fail, they seem strangely energized, strangely interested, strangely satisfied. They may not openly celebrate. Most people are too careful for that, but their reaction feels different. There is less sympathy, less concern, more curiosity, more attention, more engagement. There was a businessman named Marcus who experienced both success and failure during his career. During successful periods, one acquaintance barely spoke to him. rarely called, rarely checked in, rarely showed interest. But whenever Marcus experienced a setback, the same person suddenly became extremely attentive, calling frequently, asking questions, wanting details, showing unusual interest in the situation. At first, Marcus thought the person cared deeply. Eventually, he recognized the truth. The individual was more interested in his failures than his successes, because his setbacks made them feel better about their own life. The Stoics warned against comparing ourselves to others because comparison often produces jealousy. When someone secretly measures their worth against yours, your failure becomes their emotional relief. Your struggle becomes evidence that they are not falling behind. A genuine friend wants to see you win. A jealous person feels comforted when you lose. That difference is enormous. Never ignore how people react to your success, but pay even closer attention to how they react to your failure. That reaction often reveals their true feelings. Sign number 6. They constantly criticize things they envy. Jealousy has a strange habit. People often attack what they secretly wish they had. They criticize success, criticize confidence, criticize ambition, criticize achievement, not because those things are bad, because those things remind them of what they lack. There was a young entrepreneur named James. Whenever he discussed his goals, one particular acquaintance always responded negatively. "You're working too hard. Success isn't everything. Nobody needs that much ambition." At first, James thought the person was offering advice. Then he learned something surprising. The same individual constantly talked about wanting financial freedom and success. The criticism was not about James. It was about frustration. The person wanted similar achievements but lacked the discipline to pursue them. Rather than improve themselves, they criticized the people who did. The Stoics recognized this pattern long ago. People frequently attack in others what they have failed to develop within themselves. That is why criticism should always be examined carefully. Sometimes criticism contains wisdom, but sometimes it contains envy. Learning the difference is an important life skill. Sign number 7. They copy you while pretending not to notice you. One of the most overlooked signs of jealousy is imitation. Most people assume jealous individuals want nothing to do with the person they envy. But often the opposite is true. They watch closely, they observe carefully, and sometimes they begin copying the very person they claim not to admire. Why? Because jealousy and admiration are often closer than people realize. A jealous person may criticize your style, then adopt it, criticize your habits, then imitate them, criticize your goals, then pursue similar goals themselves. There was a young man named Alex who began transforming his life. He started exercising regularly, reading books, improving his mindset, building discipline. One of his acquaintances constantly mocked these changes. Whenever Alex discussed self-improvement, the acquaintance laughed. Whenever Alex mentioned books, the acquaintance dismissed them. Whenever Alex talked about discipline, the acquaintance rolled his eyes. But something strange happened. A few months later, the same acquaintance started going to the gym, started reading similar books, started posting motivational quotes, started pursuing many of the same habits he once criticized. Alex found it confusing. Why would someone mock behavior only to imitate it later? The answer was simple. The criticism was never about the habits. It was about the discomfort those habits created. Alex's growth forced the acquaintance to confront his own lack of action. And eventually, instead of remaining stagnant, he unconsciously followed the example he once criticized. The Stoics understood that people are influenced by what they constantly observe. Even when envy exists, admiration often exists beneath it. That is why jealous people sometimes become imitators. They may never admit they respect what you are doing, but their actions reveal the truth. Watch behavior, not words. Behavior tells the real story. People can hide their feelings, but they struggle to hide their patterns. And patterns always reveal the truth. How a Stoic responds to jealous people. Now that you understand the signs of jealousy, an important question remains. How should you respond? Most people react emotionally. They become angry, defensive, bitter. They start arguing, proving themselves, seeking revenge. The Stoics rejected all of these responses. Why? Because another person's jealousy is not your responsibility. Their emotions belong to them. Their insecurities belong to them. Their resentment belongs to them. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that people act according to their understanding of the world. If someone behaves poorly, it often reflects confusion within them rather than something wrong with you. There was an old merchant who became highly successful in his city. As his success grew, so did criticism. People questioned his motives, doubted his achievements, spread rumors, tried to diminish his reputation. A young apprentice once asked him, "How do you stay calm when so many people are against you?" The merchant smiled and replied, "If I stop every time someone envies me, I will never reach my destination." That answer contains tremendous wisdom. You cannot control whether people envy you. You cannot control whether people misunderstand you. You cannot control whether people secretly resent your growth. But you can control your response. And that is where true power lives. The Stoic does not waste energy trying to win everyone's approval. The Stoic focuses on character, integrity, purpose, virtue, because a meaningful life cannot be built on other people's opinions. If someone is jealous of you, do not become arrogant. Do not mock them. Do not seek revenge. Instead, continue improving yourself. Continue treating people with respect. Continue living according to your values. Because your peace is worth more than any argument. And your purpose is worth more than any jealous opinion. Jealousy is one of the oldest emotions in human history. It has destroyed friendships, relationships, partnerships, families, and opportunities. Not because success is dangerous, but because success often reveals what people truly feel. Remember the 7 signs. They downplay your achievements. They secretly compete with everything you do. They disappear when good things happen to you. They give backhanded compliments. They celebrate your failures. They criticize what they secretly envy. And they copy you while pretending not to notice you. But the most important lesson is not learning how to identify jealous people. The most important lesson is learning how not to become one. The Stoics taught that envy is a prison. The jealous person suffers every time someone else succeeds. Imagine living that way. Imagine being unable to celebrate another person's victory. Imagine feeling threatened every time someone grows. That is not strength. That is suffering. True strength comes from focusing on your own path, your own growth, your own character, your own purpose. When you stop comparing yourself to others, jealousy loses its power. When you focus on becoming better than you were yesterday, envy disappears. When you understand that another person's success does not reduce your potential, peace becomes possible. So continue growing, continue improving, continue building the life you want. And if jealousy appears around you, do not let it distract you from your mission. Because the people who spend their lives watching others rarely achieve greatness themselves. Greatness belongs to those who stay focused on their own journey. Subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more videos on Stoicism, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, discipline, and mental strength. And remember this: a jealous person watches your life. A wise person builds their own. Be the wise person.